Hi Virgo, I hope that you're all doing well. We are here with a timeless reading. Welcome. The first card that we have out is Seven of Cups and King of Wands. When we like to make moves off of instinct, off of what we're feeling, but from a deeper place, you can feel like you haven't yet reached that. Having Seven of Cups indicates that there's something currently that you're working through. When you get to the bottom of what you're working through, it's going to inform action that you'll take. So what this means is that once you see whatever this is clearly, or once you understand it, or once you get to the bottom of how you're feeling, then you will be able to take action. Having King of Wands shows you in a position where the way that you take what you're going through, your experience, and then make a move based off of that, you're the one that's in the position where you're sort of the deciding factor. When it comes to the Seven of Cups, it can be a time where we don't feel like things are the most clear. Things can feel a little bit more clouded. It can even feel like so much is coming up that I haven't gone deeper yet to that more clear or purified answer or feeling or suggestion. And so being in this space can feel sort of like you're floating atop something, but the real answer you're going to find is below the surface. And you can feel like right now you're just sort of skimming along the surface, and until you go deeper down, you're gonna feel like you can't really make an informed move here. And you want to, because showing you being in the position of the King of Wands, it shows that it's important, the choices that you make. Especially seeing as you're in a position where there can be some form of power, or there can be control, or there can be authority, or there can be responsibility. Once you figure this out, whatever the Seven of Cups is, whatever you're trying to get to the bottom of, then you're going to be able to take action and move into figuring out a plan, figuring out your next steps. Which right now you can feel a little all over the place with. This doesn't feel like a lack of ideas or a lack of ideas for plans, but more so like which one is the right one if I have a bunch of different options here. What you can feel like isn't helping though is I'm seeing something kind of balled up and there being a holding on to it, like even a tightening that's happening where actually a loosening may be needed to create space to weave in and out. Like flexibility to work something out that needs to be worked out. Okay. When I see Seven of Cups attached to Six of Wands, generally I see that as you figure it out and are successful with that. Like you pick the right thing or you figure out the right thing that needs to be figured out. Like you are successful in sorting this. Seeing Sagittarius here. Six of Wands shows that there is going to be an appointing, an accomplishment. Having Page of Wands be connected with this looks like something that you're on the track of. Having Temperance there can show that you've had to wait or you've had to exercise patience or there's been something that's been taking some time. So even though we're seeing you prove successful here, simultaneously, something can just take time to be a part of. If you're on this path, there's stuff that needs to be figured out, stuff that needs to be worked out. You may not be moving as quickly as you thought you would at certain points. Doesn't mean things aren't moving, but when we have Page of Wands and we have Temperance, it shows that if we want to walk this path that feels important to us, that it's really necessary for us to be doing it the right way, for us to be taking our time as well. And sometimes that can test our patience, especially when we want to move more quickly than the energy is allowing. And so it can kind of test you in that way. Like, you really want this, you really want to be here. How do you work with yourself mentally when that can feel like more of a struggle? Like, something about having to wait and needing to exercise patience, that's something that can feel troubling to you at sometimes. Like, when there is a process happening and you're not totally in control of the time frame of it, this can bring up anxieties for you. When things are unclear, when things are unsure. There's a need to be calculated here, and what that means is that if you don't have the information to make a calculated move, you don't make the move. Then you focus on getting the information that you need to make a calculated move, a measured move especially. That's what I mean when I'm saying calculated. Like, you want to be deliberate with the moves that you're making, because that's what helps things move forward. I wanted to, in general, when we have the Seven of Cups connected with Page of Wands, this can be stuff that you're figuring out about the current path that you're on, especially when the path that you're on may split into different paths, and then trying to figure out, well, if this is splitting and I have to choose like one of many, what am I going to choose to move forward? And that can be a time where you have to stop and do the calculations, essentially, rather than just making a move because you feel unsettled with something being a choice in front of you before you're ready to actually do it. It's taking the time to really make a measured choice here, like a calculation. And this is a type of, starting off with Seven of Cups, this shows that it is like a calculation when it comes to your feeling, when it comes to your intuition, which you have to be calm and you have to be centered to tune into that, to really get the message of what's being said. And that can be difficult when we have this connected with the Nine of Swords, which can be like that part of you that's thinking like, I can't wait here, I need to hurry up, like this shouldn't be taking that long. And it's like becoming it feels like getting into a frenzy when really you need to actually ground your energy so you can really tune in and listen, and then move forward from there. But when we have the Nine of Swords, it's the anxiety of, I gotta figure it out before it's time to even make the plan, because you don't have all the information. Then you do something that ends up taking you backwards, and you don't want to have to do that. So I'm just seeing this be something where it's showing to be mindful of this. Don't get ahead of yourself because you're motivated by anxiety. And then that's sort of what your experience is going to reflect back to you if that's not something that you want to be experiencing. Because I'm seeing that this plan that's being formulated, this is going to be something that like really seems like it goes off without a hitch. I'm seeing this. We have Six of Wands be connected with Two of Wands. This shows that there's going to be success with what you're doing, success with moving forward. The part that you are meant to be working with right now is when the path isn't totally absolutely clear, when the path doesn't feel totally absolutely singular. How are you working with the part of yourself that feels challenged when things become a bit ambiguous? How do you work with that part of yourself that anxiety starts coming up rather than something else that would maybe put you more at ease? Because the issue is not the path becoming ambiguous in some way. It's meant to be like that. It's the part where you start seeing that as a sign of like something that's not supposed to be happening, or something that's bringing up anxiety for you, and then feeling like you need to rush through this part when that's actually not meant to be. So there's a need for you to take your time here, even though your anxiety can be saying, don't take your time, rush this, do this now. And it would feel like the way that your anxiety or your fears or your worries would speak to you would be saying, acknowledging that you don't have all the information to be making a choice or figuring something out, and trying to push you or like corner you into doing something when you know intuitively you need to figure other stuff out. And you know it's not the time to be doing that. But your anxiety can be telling you otherwise. But this is the better way to do it. This is a more effective way to do it. Because what I'm seeing is that if you go on and you do something without having the information, you don't have that high of a likelihood for this to be the choice that you would make if you were informed when you did it. Like, it's really can change the outcome for you. And then what if you make the choice that's not really about the best one for the situation? Then you're going to go back, and then it's going to like delay you more than if you just take the time that you need now to do this properly, get all the information, gather all the information, gather the clarity, the understanding, and then move forward from there. So this can be you working with, in a time where this thing gets you a little bit riled up mentally, which you can feel like a lot of thoughts happening, anxiety, worrying happening, or can't stop thinking about it. It's going to be what you know as being anxious feeling within you. You won't feel settled, you won't feel centered, you won't feel calm. How do you get back to that place? That is your natural state. And recognize that this is conflict. It's meant to be worked out. It's meant to be resolved properly. It's meant to be detangled, rather than to look at it and be like, you know what this feels like to me? That there are two different ways that you can sort of address this or handle this. One of the ways that you can do it is to really take the time to do your calculations here, and then make a really like educated guess with your choice, or even from a place of knowing within you. Or you can look at this and say, I don't want to take the time to have to take this apart and figure it out. And then you just like hit all the buttons and like hope that you hit the right one. And like, how much longer is it going to take you to actually do that? And you can initially think like it'll take, you could just press the button and maybe that'll be the right one. And maybe that'll be faster, but I'm seeing this will like kick you back more, and that you're being encouraged to really take this apart because you are capable. We have 9 of Pentacles below 5 of Wands. So 5 of Wands is this thing that you're in the process of working out. It reminds me very much of a puzzle that when you like pull the pins out the right way, it will release the flow of energy and sort of channel it the way that it's supposed to go. And that you're very capable of being sort of the one that is at the helm of this. And this is going to help you steady your direction and feel like you're really going the right way here, when right now you can feel like I'm not really sure what way I'm supposed to go, and this is going to help you figure that out. Some of you, this can be about future, this can be about career, it can be about what you want, it can be about relationships, it can be about your path, it can be about your purpose, it can be about healing. But it's all stuff that's going to be related to kind of like, where am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to be doing? Especially from here, from this point forward. Where do I go? And you figuring that out. Because it does very much seem like you have different things in front of you. So how do you know which one is the right one? And it's by taking the time to figure it out. And by making choices from a place of stability within yourself. From a place of commitment to yourself. So I'm seeing you walk along your path. You have a puzzle in front of you. This puzzle is not something that you can't handle. Having you come out as King of Wands and also Nine of Pentacles, it shows that this is something that you're very capable of figuring out, so you don't need to guess at this. You don't need to just randomly come up with a choice. This is something that you actually like have what you need within you already to be able to look at this, to figure it out properly, and then move from there. If Five of Wands were the type of thing where I'm looking at it and I'm like, you're not experienced enough to know how to handle this yet, like you might as well just like make a choice and move forward. It's not that. That's not what I'm seeing here. Sometimes it's that, it's not that right now. This is you're getting to something. This is something that like the level that you are at energetically is very much able to resolve the conflict, the square, the problem, the thing, the issue, the puzzle that's in front of you. You have the skills to do this. You have the resources to do this. You have the drive to do this. You have the motivation. You have the authority to do this. This will help you move forward. So something about the pace, something about the direction, anxiety about the pace, anxiety about the direction. Do not rush this part. Take your time and make sure that this feels like a solid next step that you are taking rather than just rushing to take the next step. I'm seeing that be the majority of the advice here. And I will also say too, we have Hanged Man on the bottom of the deck, and what this can mean is that this is a time where it's already built into the timeline that you take the time to solve this. It's not something that's not supposed to be there. When we have Hanged Man, it can be these things that we perceive, oh, this is a delay as far as your expectations, but as far as the cosmic, divine timeline of this, you're supposed to take the time right now to figure this out properly and then move forward from there, because it's built into this. So you're actually not behind and you're actually not delayed. But I really do believe that you will delay yourself if you're not addressing this properly. It's going to take longer than it needs to. And isn't that the whole point of this? Like, you want to do this as efficiently as possible. This is the advice for doing it like that. And it will help you stabilize. It will help things stabilize. And it even feels like it helps keep you on a streak that you want to be staying on. And this also isn't meant to deter you. It's meant to be solved and then you continue on your way. And it's kind of like you have to figure out the answer to the riddle before you pass through the gates. And so you take the time to do that, and then you move through and you keep going on your way. But yeah, you're definitely not, it's built into the timeline that you take the time right now to figure this out. It's not supposed to be here. So just know that about this part. All right, my friends, we're going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.